Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us. My name is Mackenzie. I am a sales manager here at Barn to Door, and I've been, working with farms in the Carolinas for about the past 3 years. Been to a lot of the CFSA conferences, so super excited to be here at Barn to Door. We're essentially an all-in-one solution to really help farms grow and manage their direct sales, and we're excited to be presenting with Jessica today.
Awesome. Well, I'm Jessica from Evans Family Farm. We started our kind of direct-to-market livestock meat farm in 2016. We joined Barn to Door, I want to say we're in our third year with using them as our online platform.
So today, we're really going to just kind of get into how to help farms grow and manage sales and what that looks like. So just to hop in here, we're definitely living in an Amazon Prime culture these days, and billion-dollar companies have really kind of shaped that consumer experience. So essentially what that looks like is buyers expecting to be able to go in and find a product, one-click purchase it, and have it delivered to their doorstep. Jessica, do you want to speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, when we joined Barn to Door, we were looking for an online platform because we could just see that was the way things were going. Customers had that expectation. They wanted a really powerful or easy to use online interface. They needed to be 1 to 2 clicks away from making a purchase. And they wanted the convenience of either having it delivered or shipped to their door or an easy way to pick up. And that really accelerated things last year in 2021 with COVID and everything, where everybody wanted kind of contactless and immediate, not in person experience with farms, which was really kind of new to most of us direct sale farmers.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the good thing about what's going on right now is that there is such a push for local food. 94% of buyers right now are looking to buy locally. They want to buy local, but once again, we've just been kind of trained by these companies to have everything be online and be so easy. So that's where, especially we as a company here at Barn to Door really want to come in and help farms reach that kind of expectation. So first and foremost, in terms of branding, we really want to work on helping farms get their farm store on all different kinds of channels and your farm brand. And regardless of whether you're working with someone like Barn to Door or a different company, it's really important as a farm to be able to experience things on all channels, have your buyers be able to purchase from you on all channels, because some folks might be looking for your products on your Facebook page, but some of them might want to go on a website or on your newsletter to purchase from you. So, whether or not you're working with somebody like Barn to Door or something else, it's really crucial that you have that consistency and you're staying top of mind, because once again, it kind of goes back to the impact that other large companies have on the consumer experience. We're all getting thousands of emails a day. I have a ridiculous amount of emails in my inbox of just companies hounding me, but I really appreciate an email from a local farmer telling me about the products that they have. And it just needs to be consistent, because it makes sure that you're a trustworthy brand, and also that people are willing to, put their credit card information to a website too.
Yeah, I would definitely say that those online platforms and having that kind of, it's our way where we've gone from in-person to digital, but still maintain that personal experience. When you are buying local, you do want to know your farmer, and you want to know that you can trust what they're selling. So again, that I think that it speaks to that brand consistency that's necessary. You still need some of those personal touches, because there's customers that I've never seen face to face, and that's kind of a new thing for us, in the field we're in, where everything before was so in-person and face-to-face conversations.
Totally. Yeah. And I think if I remember correctly too, Jessica, I think you had a website before you even came to Barn to Door, and then you were just looking really for easy purchasing too.
Yeah, we had kind of an online presence that we had built, just something simple, because people want to be able to Google you, and if they can't find a website, they're going to kind of move on. Something else is going to pop up in that first page of Google results, and you're going to kind of miss out.
But that kind of drives it home with the convenience side of things too, because, you can absolutely have a beautiful website, a Facebook page, things like that. But if it's not convenient to purchase from your farm, a lot of people won't follow through with that online, because maybe it takes a Facebook message or somebody calling you up to ask about what cuts you have. And we do live in a digital culture right now. And I know a lot of people don't even want to pick up the phone to call somebody anymore, just to have that conversation. We see farms oftentimes are making about 7+ touches before people are even converting into a purchase, if they're not using an online ordering system, just because of the back and forth, right? So I think a couple things to think about in terms of a convenient experience for your customers to be able to purchase from you is number one, really, really simple purchasing, whether that be for, your direct to consumer buyers or even direct to wholesale buyers, being able to automate some of those receipts and invoices and things like that. So, while you're sitting down for dinner, or Jessica, I know your talks just got out, you're not having to pick up the phone and answer questions about, ordering. That's all just kind of automated. You're not having to worry about that. And then starting to offer different kinds of fulfillment options. And I'll go to you in a second here, Jessica, because I know you guys have really leveraged delivery, but not every single customer is going to be able to come meet you at the farmers market. So being able to offer really clear fulfillment options that people can see when they're making a purchase. Maybe it's for, local pickup at the farmers market, even just like different kinds of fulfillment or delivery zones is a really good way to do that too. And then charging for it. So we actually see that farms who are offering delivery are seeing about 2 times more in revenue than farms who are not. So, it is truly a tipping point for farm success to start to offer deliveries, being able to leverage that, drop it off at people's doors. Maybe you're leaving a cooler outside. So I know, Jessica, something that you have really leveraged has been deliveries. Do you want to speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, it's something that we were really thinking of starting kind of the beginning of 2021 before we even knew, there was going to be this huge need for it. So we had kind of piloted it, which helped us work out some of the kinks and charging for it because it is time consuming. So a lot of people don't do it. Or, you think you need to have this fancy refrigerated delivery van, which, yeah, would be great, would be nice. It'd be nice to have some branding driving through some of these neighborhoods, But honestly, we still do delivery in our, my converted minivan that I still use for family purposes too. So sometimes you bootstrap things just to get it off the ground. And so that's definitely been huge. Again, people want that convenience. It definitely has helped, grow customer base for sure. And even helped us kind of build our subscription service. So we might touch on that later, I'm not sure, but our CSA type box, when people know that's coming, they have a promo code and they can tack other items on too. That helps just kind of build. We're already going out there. We're already stopping those houses. If we can add, $10, $15 to each sale, we have 10 stops. All that adds up and helps pay for gas and wear and tear on vehicles and stuff like that too.
Totally. Absolutely. And, I think some farms are really intimidated by deliveries just, starting off, and something to think about when you are starting deliveries, if it's something you want to do for your farm, is starting small. Maybe you're just doing a small zip code area, charging for deliveries like you were mentioning, Jessica, and then also, using a routing app, which we'll get into a second, but that is going to make everybody's lives so much easier. You know where you're going, how much time you need to be spending on that. And then of course, subscriptions. So subscriptions are also a huge, huge part of farm success. Everybody is subscribing to different kinds of products now. So whether you have a Netflix subscription or maybe you're subscribing to like deodorant on Amazon or something like that, people are used to subscriptions. They want subscriptions, and you can make it really easy for people to just, set up a recurring subscription, automatically have, the money going into your bank account and having it match up with your processing dates or your delivery dates. Jessica, how does your subscription work today?
And so our subscription, again, we have a lot going on the farm these days, as you could see our little addition here. It's just been off camera for a little bit, and even us charging for delivery has allowed me to employ somebody to do deliveries for me. With a newborn particularly, I can't be driving around all Kingdom Come, and we've got to make it convenient. When we first started, we picked a zip code that was already at an area we were driving for some of our wholesale stops. So it wasn't anything too far out of the way. And we still limit that, occasionally we'll have a customer outside of that. And it's easy to convert them into a pickup, in a different spot. Or a lot of people pick up at work, they'll have it delivered at work because that's in the zip code radius. If they really want it, they'll make it happen for the most part.
So in terms of, wanting to increase your sales, if you're a farm who's looking to really grow your business, there's a couple of really key tools that you might already be using today to just start to leverage for your farm and even start to help save time a little bit. So a couple things that we see working really well are email marketing and social media marketing. Here at Barn to Door, we use MailChimp as kind of our email marketing solution that we use with most of the farms that we work with. The great thing about MailChimp is it's connected to your email already. It's super easy to use, but there's some really cool features in it that is going to make your life easier and also put a little bit of a personal touch for many of your customers that you're working with already. You can start to create different kinds of groups. And here at Barn to Door, we actually have an automated integration with them. So all of your contacts sync together if somebody purchases through your Barn to Door store. it syncs in your MailChimp, which is great. You can create these different kinds of groups and then also create customer journeys. So a different kind of email sequence that goes out to your customers to really encourage purchasing. You can start to look at the analytics of MailChimp. And something that works really well for the farms that we work with is that it actually syncs with their inventory. So you can start to put in featured products or automated recommended products into your newsletter that goes out to your customers. And then they can purchase directly from a newsletter. So they're not having to message you, they're not having to email you back. They can just purchase right there, and you can track all of the money that you've made, even down to the, email, which is really cool and really helpful from a growth perspective. In terms of social media, there's a lot of ways to leverage it. I think one of the big ones is just having a shop button directly on your Facebook page. You can move your, message me button directly to a shop now button, which is great, huge time saver there. And then you can even start to populate products, put a shop button right on your page, put the products right on there for people to go and shop right through Facebook. Jessica, you use MailChimp, right?
We do. Yeah, we use MailChimp, and it's one thing we used ahead of time. So it was really easy to sync once Barndoor had the integration. It's really easy to link that up. And even something as simple as the order reminders. I mean, we all get so many emails, but our base customers, the 5 minutes it takes me to type up, the 50 words that fit in that order reminder box, it always results in, 200 to 300 increase in our weekly sales. If I can just remember to update that, you don't have to come up with super snazzy. It's just some taglines. Customers aren't going to read a big email. It's not a newsletter. Once a month or once every couple months, we'll do a newsletter with personal information and pictures and stuff. It's just a quick blurb. Hey, we have bacon in stock, order for pickup, order for delivery. But super easy. There's a link in there for them to click on. The ROI on that, for my time is amazing. It really works. But again, it's just those reminders. I'm busy too. I forget that, the cutoff's on Wednesday for Thursday delivery. I better order, before breakfast or before work or whatever.
Yeah. And especially like with your subscription boxes too, like being able to say, hey, like you have your subscription boxes coming this week, grab an add-on for that, since you guys are already doing that delivery and leveraging more sales. So it's just a helpful way to get people to purchase a little bit more. Another pretty cool feature that we actually just added here at Barn to Door, that's an interesting thing for farms who are doing subscriptions or have really specialty items. It's an auto unlock feature. So for example, if you were selling a subscription box and maybe you have some really specialty items like your heirloom tomatoes or tomahawk steaks, or even like some coffee that you're sourcing from another producer, that's a really high value item. You can have that in a private store. So when somebody goes in and purchases your subscription from you, it auto unlocks that with that purchase to this private store where they have access to specialty products, add-on products, and it gives your customer kind of a special experience that, incentivizes more purchasing or loyal buyers. So that's something that I think is really helpful for a lot of farms, especially using subscriptions.
Yeah, we're really excited to start using that feature. We're going to do some kind of holiday promos with that, especially for our customers purchasing turkeys, setting aside some of our most popular items like our breakfast sausages or bacon, so it's like, oh, you bought your turkey. Now you have access to these additional items on there too.
And so all of this is great, but we know that farms are obviously very busy. So it's about scalability too. So you can do all these things, but you also want to make it manageable with your time frame. How much time do you have in a day? You have to value your time as well. So what really helps, for farms in a lot of these areas is starting to streamline a lot of these operations that can be automated instead. So a couple of things that we do here at Barn to Door is we start to create things like pick and pack lists. That will really help to automate what you need for the day, and B, what's going to what customer, connects to your routing services, things like that. It's just going to give you kind of a breakdown list of everything that you need. And it's just one click. So you're not having to go through and count every single order in an Excel sheet or anything like that. You can have all that info there. Now, the routing apps, this is a pretty cool feature too. Jessica, I know you use Routific, it sounds like. And so essentially the routing apps are connected into your Barn to Door store. You can one click and it will automate an efficient route for you to do your deliveries.
Those are great features, especially, if you get to the point where for me, the best use of my time is not driving around all day. It's doing email marketing or reaching out to customers or things like that. So employing somebody too, it also lets us know, we have a trusted employee doing that, but if you had somebody new, it tells you kind of how long the route should take. So, you kind of know you have that expectation of they need to be moving quickly from stop to stop, things like that. It just makes, again, it is super efficient. The pick and pack lists are awesome. Again, when I have somebody else packing orders for me, it just lets you pull everything out of the freezer at once. Then you can pack all your orders instead of going back and forth, receipt by receipt. So those things have been really key. Again, it's got to be efficient. It's got to make it worth my time, because anything that saves me time, makes me money in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of money, you got to streamline all of kind of your money management and things like that. I know a lot of farms use QuickBooks Online, which is great. Here in North Carolina, you guys do need taxes on some things. So, having a tax calculator at the time of checkout is huge, not only for saving you time, but also from an auditing perspective. If you ever got audited, you want to make sure you have that paper trail of all of your taxes. We integrate with QuickBooks Online and Avalara, which are two kind of best in class solutions. There's a lot of other solutions out there that you can look into, but those two are really, really helpful. Really just helps to kind of seamlessly manage all of those expenses and taxes and things like that.
Yeah. And even the text jar integration. I mean, I have mine automated. It's one less thing. I'm a busy mom. I homeschool my kids. I run the farm,
Yes.
One less thing I have to think about.
Right.
It's going to automatically send that. It sends me an email to let me know that it's sending it. So I'm aware that that's coming out of the account. But in one less thing off my plate that I know is just going to get done.
Right. Exactly. And then we do also support some variable weights applicable for everybody, but some farms who are wanting to sell things like quarters, halves, and wholes, or maybe you're selling squash by weight, or tomahawk steaks, for instance, you want to get down to the dollar on that, or your turkeys. Like I know you're doing turkeys as well, Jessica. So
yeah, that's our one last variable price point item, because there is a lot of, there is variation and customers want that variation. And, it's a big ticket item to begin with. So, they want to pay for exactly what they're getting. Understandable.
So I'm going to go into just a quick little case study of another pastured proteins farm that we work with here at Barn to Door. They really started to implement some of the tactics that we've been talking about today. So actually what they were doing previously to getting started with Barn to Door is they were doing more quarters, halves, and wholes, one-off cuts, things like that. And we're having really spotty sales. You can kind of see that in the beginning here. 1 month it was like $3,000. And then the next month it was up to $10,000. And then the next month down a little bit more. So what we worked with them on was starting to get them to implement bundle boxes on a subscription basis. And bundle boxes and subscriptions work with every kind of farm, you name it. We work with farms who are doing maple subscriptions, wool subscriptions. People want to buy them. And when you can get people, on a subscription, a 5, 10, or 15 pound bundle, you can see here in their case that their revenue really started to not only go up quite a bit, but it also started to level off and be a little bit more consistent. So they had predictability every single month in what was coming in to their bank account and also what was going out from a processing perspective. So, if you have processing constraints, this is a really good way to start planning around processing dates and having fulfillment options, line up with that as well. And they really started to leverage direct delivery as well. So direct delivery is a great way to just get your products right in front of your customers and help to increase revenue. So kind of the outcome for them was that they started seeing about 75% of their recurring revenue every single month coming from subscriptions, guaranteed. So it can be really huge in terms of just having the peace of mind of knowing that even if it's the off season for you, November, December, you still have that revenue coming in.
Right? Yeah, those guaranteed sales are awesome. You kind of know when they're going to hit. Ours is the same time every month. And it lets us plan inventory too, if there are certain kind of off things that maybe aren't selling. No, weird things, especially our subscription customers, we want to give them prime access to things so they feel like they're getting a good value that keeps them loyal. They're the first ones to get the high demand items when they come in. They always go in the box first. So again, they feel, again, that helps them feel committed to the company, and kind of bought into what we're doing. And they know they get something special by being, a box member. So.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I get a produce subscription over here and I always will find a little extra tomato in there or something like that, which is, it's nice. It's always great to, feel a little special. So cool. Well, Jessica, I'm going to have you take over here a little bit and just talk about kind of your farm.
Yeah. So, we've talked about, we started in 2015. We were kind of a slow growth to begin with. We always wanted to be in person, face to face, direct to retail. We do a little bit of wholesale where the numbers work and depending on what our inventory is. So primarily eggs are wholesale to some cafes and things like that. And it's always been important to kind of sell our story, where when somebody buys directly from a farmer, whether it be online or in person at a farmer's market, it's a different experience they're looking for. They're not looking for, bottom dollar being the price. So yeah, we started out kind of from the ground up. My husband and I don't have backgrounds in agriculture, so we kind of started this farm on a dream and have learned as we've grown. We started with 10 acres, and this last year we definitely outgrew that in the last couple of years and purchased some adjoining land when it became available. And so now we are on 110 acres is what we're managing for all of our livestock. And then we've also added some other enterprises, like a summer camp program we did this summer was really successful. We're going to be doing some more on-farm events to help grow the business as well. And then we're hoping to add things like an internship program and kind of an Airbnb type farm stay on the farm as well. Again, just different ways to kind of create revenue from the more enterprises we can staff on the land that we're using, the better for our farm in the long run. And so now we're up to, we have 60 head of sheep. If we're going by the numbers, we have just half a dozen cattle. We'll be bringing another half dozen on in the springtime. We do about 5,000 head of poultry per year. And then, about 300 egg layers and maybe 50 or 60 pigs or hogs that we finish each year, meat-wise as well. So that's kind of where we're at now versus where we started much smaller. And having that online platform has been a huge piece of that growth. It's so necessary in the day that we're in now. And again, the more convenient that is, the more time it saves us, the faster that we can grow. We also do have plans we do our online ordering. We have a lot of customers that just pick up. We have kind of a self-serve freezer outside, and that's been a huge success. And we want to bring more of those sales on site. So having an in-person store is one of our goals for 2022. So where people can kind of either shop online and pick up in the store, then grab a couple other items because somebody's there. We're partnering again with some other produce farms to have things that they can purchase, maybe just during the weekend hours when they come pick stuff up. It's definitely where we hope to grow and continue to grow in the future.
That's awesome. Yeah, I follow you on Instagram and I saw your summer camp over the summer. It was so cute to see all the little kids on the farm. So that was really fun.
Yeah, it was super fun. Maybe it's the former teacher in me.
Yeah.
It definitely was super successful and things that, my kids were like, I don't get how this is exciting. Like everything here is new and exciting. The kids had a blast. It was really a great way, again, I pull a customer base in a closer radius to our farm. So most of the people that came to camp are within driving distance of the farm. So potential, on-site farm customers versus our farmers market is in a metropolitan area, which is a little bit farther. It's 45 minutes to an hour in either direction. Or again, even our home delivery route, those customers are probably not going to go out of their way to show up on farm. So we wanted to start pulling from a closer radius. And the summer camp program kind of had the dual purpose of that, of bringing people on farm, showing them that it's convenient, it's a nice place to be, it's pretty, it's set up, it's, they can get to it easily, and to convert that person to a regular on-site shopper.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, it's so cool to hear about all your growth. Super excited for you. Okay, cool. Well, to recap real quick what we went through today, just to really help your farm grow and manage direct sales. So number one, convenience is really the tipping point to farm success. So just making it super easy for your buyers to be able to shop from you, have clear fulfillment options, things like that. Number two, importance of farm brand awareness. So being able to be on all of those different channels, making sure that your customers can find you, whether they're looking for your website or your Facebook page. And then number three, start to get hours back in your day, streamline things, use different tools that are out there for you to use, like QuickBooks or, Jessica, I know you use TaxJar or Avalara. And then number four, start to really fuel farm sales by offering things like subscriptions, home delivery, and the email marketing is also a really huge piece of that too. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciated you guys taking the time to sit down with us and learn a little bit more about how to help your farm grow and manage your direct sales. If you have more questions about Barn to Door or curious to learn a little bit more, you can go to our website at www.barn2door.com, or you can reach us at our social handles, which is at Barn2Door. We also have a number of resources on our website, so feel free to check those out. You can read, watch, or listen, different kinds of resources. We have an awesome podcast too. I work specifically with farms in North and South Carolina, so if you have any questions or, want to see some examples, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to walk you through those. We also have an entire success team dedicated to working with farms in the Carolinas, so we're definitely here to help you out. If you wanted to learn more about Evans Family Farm, thanks for joining us, Jessica. You can go to www.evansfamilyfarm.com, or you can reach Jessica on her social handles as well, which is Evans Family Farm NC. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a great rest of the conference.